Hari Om. Namaste to all of you. Greetings. Today I am communicating to all the great artists, all the great talents that God has given to you, and each one of you who is an artist here. I'm sure many of you must be turning around, ready to switch it off and say, "No, I'm not an artist." Hang on. You are an artist. Everyone is an artist. You want to know how? Through communication. So today, the topic that I chose is what I do, what you do. Communication, speech, talking, conversation. So the topic is today the art of communication. Communication is the most beautiful art that we are born with. Nobody trains us. Yes, we can polish our language. We can improve the skill. We can improve, the way or the tone and other things. But communication is an inborn talent. And you all are so beautiful in your communication. That is why communication itself is an art, and I addressed all of you as an artist. You all have great art to communicate what you want to, the way you want to whom, how. And I feel communication is the most powerful human tool, the most powerful human potent force within us is communication. Communication comes through the voice, and the human voice is the most powerful instrument of communication. Through the human voice, we share knowledge, we share our feelings, good or bad, we share whatever is there in our hearts and minds. So communication is sharing the knowledge. And we can make it more and more effective by being brilliant in our conversation. By bringing an art, understanding that it is an art. First of all, you need to accept, yes, it is an art. Don't think that, I'm communicating because I know how to communicate, or I'm talking because that's how it is all about, and I don't have control over my tongue. These are helpless things. You are born with a talent to communicate. Your voice is a precious gift of God. Not that everybody has to be great singers. That art is different. Your communication should be very, very effective. That is the art of communication. Why did I use the word art of communication? Because communication, everybody does. Talking, everybody does. Now, how to produce something very effective, something very meaningful in what you converse, how to make what little sentence you made so effective that can change everyone's thought patterns. That is what is art. So, the more effective your speech is, the better you would be, in others' lives. So, communication is expressing the wisdom. Yes, of course, we can accept wisdom through reading also, but by listening is more powerful. We read a lot. Yes, that's a very, very good habit. But by listening to the wisdom is very easy, very potent, very smart way of listening the wisdom through the ears. And that comes only through the art of communication, developing that art of communication. Now, what is the first creation of God? Have you ever thought about it? I feel the first creation of God is a sound. That's what is said in Upanishad, in Bhagavad Gita, in Bible, in all the sacred scriptures. It is said so that the first creation is the sound of God, the word, the sound, the sacred vibration, dhvani. So the sound is the first creation. Knowledge is transferred through that sound. All kinds of wisdom is transferred through the through the voice, and all kinds of emotions are also transferred. That is why it is important to listen. Yeah, that is another topic, art of listening. We'll deal with it sometimes later. Now, whatever advice we get to hear, whatever wisdom that pours in our life through our ears, what we hear, that is through somebody else's communication. Now, don't you think that many of the communication or many of the wisdom that is coming to us sounds very familiar? Yes, it is very familiar, because that wisdom has been read, spoken by many at many times. So many people have spoken such wisdom, so the communication of knowledge that comes to me has already been spoken. So what I'm communicating to you has also reached you even before me. It will reach you after me. But when you hear this communication through the mouth of someone whom you revere, or who is experienced soul, or who is enlightened person on earth, or you get to hear this through in the form of reading, then you should understand that it is time for you to absorb that communication. If the communication, as I said earlier, is repeatedly coming to you, or it is coming to you through someone who is evolved or enlightened or revered or very respected, that means it is the time for you to accept that communication as your advice. It is time for you to understand and absorb that knowledge. Communication comes to you in the form of spoken and unspoken forms also. Both of them are for you for realization. As you hear what others say, and as you communicate as it should be done in the proper way, the person across you, in front of you, he realizes what he has to realize, or he realizes his realization through your words, through what he read, through what you spoke out just now. So every communication is, I would say, beautiful gift of God, and that communication should be developed. The quality, the way you talk, it should be developed. How it can be impressive. One realizes the realization through the spoken words and through the unspoken words also. Whatever has been spoken to him, as I repeatedly am saying, if it is coming again and again to you, or it is coming to you through someone who is very important to you or very revered to you, that means it's time to take action upon it. It's time for you to live those words that has been told to you. Communication makes you what you are. You are labeled as angry person, good person, soft-hearted person, so-and-so, 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 just by your communication. Just by the tone that you use. Just by the choice of words that you use. How do you show someone that you love someone or you want to be stern with someone? It's your voice. It's a choice of the words. And even if you're angry, rightfully angry, there's no need to use those words which are very upsetting someone, demeaning someone. You can bring forth some alternative words to check someone, correct someone, bring in some change in someone. Our sacred scripture, Ramayana, everywhere speaks about the art of communication. The father of Lord Rama, King Dasharatha, he communicated to his wife at some point of time when he won the war with the help of his third wife, Kaikeyi. He communicated his love to her through some words. It was not written somewhere in the stamp paper or a notarized paper like today's world. It was just spoken words. He gave word to his wife. He spoke something and his wife remembered. But what he communicated, in what tone and what note he communicated, that fell against him. Kaikeyi used it when she wanted the other way. And that was the beginning of Ramayana. Without that, Ramayana wouldn't have been there, wouldn't have existed. Lord Rama's incarnation wouldn't have been fruitful. So that communication, he communicated to his wife out of love something. But that was taken in another meaning, or it was taken to be utilized, arm twisting or blackmailing. So we need to be very careful, very articulate in our communication. Now, Rama and Lakshmana, after losing Sita, they're going around in the forest looking for Sita. And at that time, Hanuman and Sugriva, they happened to see, both of them, they happened to see Ram and Lakshman from far away from the mountains. Sugriva is a bit doubtful. Obviously, he's hiding from his brother Bali. So Hanuman offers, he says, let me go and find out who these two beautiful beings are who are wandering in the forest, and let me find out the reason. So as Hanuman departs from there, he realizes that I shouldn't go in the monkey form. Let me assume a human body. So he assumes, a very handsome human body of a Brahmana, and he goes in front of Rama, and right at that moment he feels a magnetic pull with Lord Rama. That's a long story, but to cut it short, what happens is that he communicates to Lord Rama about who he is, and he speaks, why are you here and who are you, and in any way can we be of help to you, and things like that. So when he's communicating, and in that communication, the truth, simplicity, honesty, reverence, respect, tone, sound, choice of words, everything is so beautiful, so melodious, so respectful, that Rama at that very moment is in love with Hanuman. And the love coming out from Hanuman, from Lord Rama, changes the mind in Hanuman. And Hanuman realizes, he feels quickly that I shouldn't assume this body anymore. I should be honest by my body also, by my appearance also. So he immediately seeks forgiveness and he comes back to his monkey body, his Hanuman body. And Hanuman, while speaks, and Ram tells Lakshmana, he says, look at Hanuman, how he spoke. What a beautiful art he has. Such beautiful communication I've never heard. He was neither fast, he was not slow. Nor was he murmuring inside him, nor was he in high tone. Nor was he confused, nor was he arrogant. You're getting me, what I'm saying? So the communication should neither be too fast. The more you're fast, it shows that you are in a rush. You're not a balanced person. And neither it should be so slow that the listener becomes irritated. Nor your tone should be so high it sounds like you're fighting. Nor it should be murmuring tone which makes others feel that you are not very confident about yourself. Vartate madhyame sware, says Rama. That is swara. His tone is in that madhyama, in that well-balanced tone he is talking. And communication is such a beautiful skill which is not easy for everyone. Everybody communicates, but it is not easy. So communication should always be tailor-made, customized in front of whom you're talking. So that is why I said good art of communication is customized and tailor-made. You should know whom are you addressing to, what you are talking, how it should be put. So it is always an art of good communication is tailor-made and customized. Good communication demands direct eye contact. That is very important. That shows your honesty and truthfulness. As a good communicator, take every knowledge that comes to you, and when you give it away to others, your communication itself reverberates the truth. So if you are truthful, the tone, your voice, everything will reverberate, which will convince others. Your communication should always help others. Your communication should be motivating to others. No one should feel drained after talking to you. That's art of good communication. And your communication should always help whomever you're communicating to at that time. So now Krishna is using this word Gudakesha for Arjuna in entire Bhagavad Gita, and Lakshmana is also Gudakesha. Gudakesha means the one who doesn't sleep. Now, you sleep after you eat. Then when you get up, you're again hungry. You want to eat. What happens between this time? After you eat, you sleep, and then you get up, you eat. So in between time is all nothing but communication. So where and when and whom are you communicating to? That is very important. A good communicator understands and improves his vocabulary. I can give you a couple of examples and for effective and important communication. Many years ago, the British people were awaiting news of Battle of Waterloo. When finally the message was received, only 2 words came across. And those 2 words were Wellington defeated. Wellington defeated. The news shocked the public and created an atmosphere of sorrow and gloom because the news said Wellington defeated. Shortly, however, the 3rd word came across. So the 3rd word that came across, the word was Napoleon. So what did you read? What does the message say? What was it? What was communicated? The message communicated Wellington defeated Napoleon. But the first message came Wellington defeated. Then it came Wellington defeated Napoleon. So the gloom was turned into joy and there was widespread celebration. So if I just say Wellington defeated, it gives another meaning. Wellington defeated Napoleon, it gives another meaning. Same thing happened in Mahabharata also. When Ashwatthama, the elephant by the name Ashwatthama was killed. It was all the skill of communication. Now, the word ladder, we use the word ladder for staircase when you climb up. Remember ladder for good communication. Ladder means look at the person while you're communicating. Directly look through that person while you're communicating. Look, ladder L. Then ask questions. LA, ask questions. D, don't interrupt. While somebody is talking to you, do not interrupt. Let them complete. Don't change the subject. Go with the same subject. Then empathize. Empathize with the communication and the communicator. Respond verbally and also non-verbally. That's very important. So that is ladder. These principles should be followed for a good communicating skill. Let me end with a little joke here or a small humor to say that a wife goes for shopping and she goes, these days we text so fast and everyone is busy, they don't get time even to text properly, so we go for abbreviations and short forms and all those things. So the wife, while shopping, she finds a beautiful precious jewelry somewhere and it's very expensive, so she quickly sends a text to her husband saying that it's very expensive, honey, Can I buy this? So the message comes to him. No price too high. No price too high. Now what happens? The wife thinks, she reads it out, right? Communication. As I said earlier, communication is through spoken and unspoken, both ways. So the wife reads it, no price too high. Oh wow, I'm so lucky to have, this relationship. My husband is so fond of me, and he writes that, price too heavy. And she's so happy, and she uses the card, swipes it out and gets the stuff, and she's jumping, flying in the sky, so happy. And later, when the husband gets to hear the whole thing, he's so upset because he forgot in the communication to pause. To pause is very important in the communication. To pause is very important in the communication because he forgot to put a comma there. Comma is what? We learned from childhood. Comma is pause. And he forgot to put the comma. That said, no. Pause. No. Comma. Price too high. And he said, what did I do? I didn't take a pause. So neither, in writing he didn't put a comma, that is a pause. That is the mistake we all do. We don't take a pause. So that pause is very important aspect of communication, because where we pause, there we also get time to think about. Plus, that changes the whole meaning of what we are communicating. You're getting? This little humor here adds on just to say that the husband wanted to refuse the permission, or husband wanted to refuse the purchase. He wanted to say, no, price too high. But he said, she read, no price too high, because the pause wasn't there. Now you know how important that pause is. So communication via letters, via emails, via WhatsApp, so electronic medium, also communication via your voice. That pause is very important, my dear ones. Remember, look at the person while you're communicating, ask questions, don't interrupt, don't change the subject, empathize with the communicator, and respond verbally and non-verbally. They are very important to communicate well. Art of communication, as I said, shouldn't be too high, too slow, not too murmuring, not too harsh, not too tough note. The pause makes all the magic. That is what changes the game. So, I hope you enjoyed this session with me, and you will now improve, polish your communication, and you will develop the art of communication so very well. Not necessarily you have to be an orator and a writer, author, or even in your normal day-to-day life, your communication makes you as what you are, or your communication breaks you. All our relationships, those which break, those relationships, they don't go well. Why? Most of it, 99% of it is all by communication errors. We want to say something, but we haven't said the whole thing, and what we say has not been understood by the other person the way, the essence that I want to communicate. So the essence is the gum that puts the words together. The essence is the emotion that you use while you communicate. So please, remember to pause. Bring in all the essence, all the sweetness in your communication. Your communication is divine. Because you are divine. The voice is voice of God. The voice is not yours. You don't own the voice. You have done nothing to get this voice. It's Almighty's grace that we all have the voice. So may this communication strengthen others, not break. May this communication be blessings to others. May this art of communication that we expand and we develop bring in highest possible growth in everyone's lives. With that note, I take leave for now. Stay blessed, be a good communicator, develop lovely art of communication until we meet next. Good luck, blessings, namaste.